Hello, everybody. Bill Thornton, SoCal Saber. Thank you for stopping by so we can talk about some music. We're going to get the week started off this week with the oldest album of the week that I listened to, and that's what you saw on the thumbnail. It's John Mayall's Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton from 1966. I have three LPs and one CD in the collection by John Mayall. I also have an Eric Clapton CD box set, and one of the CDs features music when he was with the Blues Breakers. So that's pretty cool too. But other than that, I still have three LPs and one CD by John Mayall. This album, for some reason, is collectively known as the Beano album, and it's the debut studio album by the English blues rock band. And it's called John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, but it was originally credited to John Mayall and Eric Clapton. The album, we got a nice a sales in her. So buy our records, buy our records. I guess back in the day, I probably looked at a lot of these and maybe did buy, on different albums and did buy some. It's a good sales pitch back in the day. We didn't have the internet and so forth like that. The album consists mostly of blues standards by well-known artists. Okay, this was good, but I don't know why. I like John Mayall. I really like Eric Clapton. You guys know that. But for some reason, I just gave it a G plus for the week. Here's a stereophonic from London Records. It's in really good shape. This was a Whatnot pickup. I'm glad to have it in the collection. I did enjoy listening to it. I gave it a G plus. Maybe I may just haven't started my week off in the wrong foot, huh? I don't know. But that was John Mayall and the Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton from 1966, the debut album by John Mayall. Well, so we're going further. Go down there and hit that like button. Do all the good stuff that YouTube wants you to do. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Put some comments down there. I really like hearing from you people, and I will get back to you. And the old man needs some company, I guess you could say. Anyway, the next one I listened to this week was a recent release by a group that's been around for quite a while. And the album is Milestone by 38 Special. Just released a few weeks ago. I have one LP and one CD in the collection by 38 Special. This was their first studio album in over 20 years. I remember the Rockers back in the day. And this celebrates the veteran Florida band's 50th anniversary. And it's a collection of 9 new original songs that find the group giving the modern rock upgrade to its classic, accessible Southern rock sound. I only gave it a G plus this week, but I think my expectations were too high. This is pretty cool vinyl too. I remember 38 Special, and I like Southern rock. A lot of you know that. And this new sound that they say, there's a little bit of that Southern rock sound in there, but mostly if it's gone away, it's more rock or pop rock, if you ask me nowadays. But I had to check it out because I do like 38 Special, and I did like this. I gave it a G plus. So like I said, maybe my expectations were too high. Let me know if you have this. and if you like what you think about it. All right. That was Milestone, the 2025 release by 38 Special, their first one in over 20 years, celebrating their 50th anniversary. Well, now we're moving on. And then there's one I picked up. I picked this up in one of the Temecula stores, record stores. And this is the 1976 LP by Genesis. And then there was 3. Do I like Genesis? I guess I must. I have 10 LPs and 2 CDs in the collection by them. That doesn't count the Phil Collins, Peter Gabriel solo stuff that I have. This was the first recording as a trio of Phil Collins, Tony Banks, and guitarist Mike Rutherford, following the departure of Steve Hackett from the band. So we don't have any inners? No inners in this one either. Got a little cheapy on there. And the album marked a shift in the band's sound, mixing elements of their progressive rock roots with more accessible material, and Collins contributing to more of the group's songwriting. You know, he had to take over. He wasn't originally the lead singer in Genesis either. Peter Gabriel. Phil Collins took over after his departure. Here's the Atlantic red, white, and green. The album received mixed reviews by critics, but it reached number 3 on the UK albums charts and number 14 on the US Billboard chart. And not being one of my favorite ones by Genesis, you know, and I shouldn't have ranked it like that, but I only gave it a G+ because it's not one of my favorite ones. But I'm supposed to be rating these as I listen for the week. Maybe I got off track a little bit this week. You know how the mind goes away. Sometimes I have to catch myself and get me back on track, but it looked pretty consistent so far. That was, and then there was 3, the 1978 album by Genesis, which was released after Steve Hackett left. All right, well, now we got another new one that just came out a week or 2 ago. This is the 2025 release, Saving Grace, by Robert Plant and Susie Deanne. I have 3 LPs and 6 CDs in the collection by Robert Plant, not counting Led Zeppelin stuff. This is the 12th studio album by Robert. Production of the material is very, very nice. Saving Grace, the name of the album, was named after the band. The band's name is Saving Grace. Robert had toured with them for 6 years or so, and he decided to just tribute them by naming the album after them. Susie Dean, who sings with them on there, has a very nice voice, and their voices, you know, gelled together quite nicely in the songs that they were in. I almost said most of them, but in all the songs they were in together, they gelled really nicely. Okay. This contains 10 cover songs. Various artists. This is primarily interpretations of the material by artists such as Minnie Moe, Grape, Blind White, Willie Johnson, The Low Anthem, Martha Stanton, and a few others. Some people complain about covers, and sometimes I do. But I didn't with this one because I never heard none of the songs before. So to me, they didn't seem like covers. And so this is This was really nice. I really enjoyed this. And I'm going to listen to it again relatively soon. And this one is going to get a VG for me from this week. That is Saving Grace, the 2025 recent release by Robert Plant with Susie Dion. Deanne. I guess that's how you would say it. So we've been moving along. We're getting to the time for the CDs usually come flying out of there. Well, there's only one this week, and it was number 154 because it's a double CD. It says Bob Dylan on there. Could be deceiving because it's not a Bob Dylan album. It says this is the 30th anniversary concert tribute to Bob Dylan. He does sing a couple songs towards the end on side 2, but this was pretty good. It was done in Madison Square Garden in 1992. There was a lot of various artists on here. You know, well, I don't have my glasses on. I'll just try to remember some of them. There's John Mellencamp. There was Bruce Springsteen, Neil Young, Eric Clapton, and a bunch of others. I just can't read them all right now. I'll put it up there so you can take a closer look at them. The house band for the show were the surviving members of Booker T and the MGs. The concert was dubbed Bobfest by Neil Young at the beginning of his All Along the Watchtower cover. Pretty cool show. And we got a book. Let's see if we can get it out of here. And I don't seem to be able to. There we go. I don't know what we got going here. Yeah, we got to take a look at it this way. One of these that fold out like this. I liked this. They both were good, but I liked this two the best. The finale was pretty cool with all the different guys out there playing their guitars. I remember seeing this on TV one time, I think. But that's so long ago, I could be wrong. Then we got a bunch of pictures of the performers on the back. It's the first CD, Columbia. Again, it says Bob Dylan, the 30th anniversary on there. Somebody could be deceived when they walk into the store thinking that's just a Bob Dylan album, but it's not. It's about a tribute to Bob. So it's number 154 this week, the 30th anniversary concert tribute to Bob Dylan by many various artists. Very good stuff. And I give this a VG for the week also. I enjoyed this one a lot. Well, now we're getting down to the end here. Don't forget, when I finish up, I'll let you know which two that I like the best for the week, that I had the most fun with. And so we're going to get a little toe tapping, disco, love song type songs. I don't know what you would call it. You know, you guys better think, this old man has really got a crazy variety of music that he likes and that he's bought over the years. And sometimes I don't even know why I bought them. But this was the very best of Leo Sayer from 1978. I think my biggest surprise when I was looking is that I have 5 LPs by Leo Sayer in my collection. I did not know that I liked him that much. Yeah, I liked a little bit of disco toe tapping, and I think, you know, some of the songs like You Make Me Feel Like Dancing, Raining in My Heart, How Much I Love You, Dancing the Night Away. I think that I was relating to girlfriends or whatever I had in those at that time in life. That probably was my wife then. But there's no winner in this one either. There's the track listing. This was his 7th album and was in the #1 spot in the UK albums chart for 3 weeks and in Australia for 1 week. It's his only chart topper in the UK albums chart, and it was never released in the United States. This is a German pressing. I wonder why that was like that. You know, I mean, Leo, the 7th album, it's not like he wasn't known. He had singles on the radio over here and everything. But it says it was never released in the United States. Wonder how this got to the United States then. I don't know. I can't know all that stuff. You know, if you guys know, let me know. All right. It's in pretty good shape. Of course, I bought it a long time ago. I tried to keep my records in good shape. 1978, so we're 47 years old. Wow. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I did enjoy this morning. I always listen to that album on Saturdays before I do this show, and it was good. You know. So what did I enjoy the most this week? I enjoyed a lot of stuff, and as you can see my ratings this week, there was nobody got a VG plus. I don't think, during the whole week, and so the two that I picked this week was the first one was Saving Grace by Robert Plant with Susie Dion. That was really nice folk music, you know, acoustic at times, folk rock, really, really nice. I enjoyed it. Check it out on your streaming services. You might enjoy that. If you're looking for like a Led Zeppelin type sound, this is not the album to buy by Robert. This is not even close to his Led Zeppelin styles. More of the stuff that he's been done as a solo artist. And the other one was I liked that concert by that Bob Dylan tribute. There was a lot of great artists on there, really good songs, and the artists did a good job of it. And I was surprised at how well that Booker T and the MG's band played during it, you know, because they had to learn a lot of different songs and they had different singers and so forth. And so that was it, you know. So tell your friends about the channel. Let's get this thing moving. Let's get it growing some more. Help us out. Help me out. And let's go. This is SoCal Saber saying take care of yourselves out there. Thank you for stopping by. Be kind to each other. Stay safe.